Welcome, my dear students. We had discussed some topics of medieval period in the previous two videos, that is part 1 and part 2. So let us discuss today's topic, that is sources of information for the medieval history. Children, do you know how do historians reconstruct history? Reconstruct means collect and write history. Now the question is, from where do the historians get information about our past or about the events that happened in the past? The answer is, historians make sure about the informations by rechecking the fact from different sources. But what are those different sources? So let us discuss about this sources of information and evidence used by the historians in the writings about the medieval period of Indian history. Sources of information are first epigraphic evidence, that is inscription. Second, numismatic evidence, that is coins. Third, archaeological evidence, that is buildings and sculptures. Fourth, artistic evidence, that is paintings. And the last one, fifth, is literary evidence, that is historical writings. So let us understand the first point, that is epigraphic evidence, which is also known as inscriptions. So what is epigraphy? Epigraphy is the study of inscriptions. What are inscriptions? Inscriptions are the words written or engraved on hard surface like metal, rock and stone surface. For example, the pillar and rock inscriptions of Emperor Ashoka the Great. Inscriptions have two phases. First phase, in the beginning, inscriptions were written on the faces of the cliffs, on stone pillars, inside caves, on the rocks. The second phase, in the course of time, the inscriptions were written on the metals like coins and copper plates. Now the question is, what is written on the copper plates? Copper plates inscription records land grants by the rich to the temples, the achievement of the kings, like inscription in Karnataka. This record belongs to the Chalukya period from 5th to the 9th century CE. Talking about the next aspects of the inscription, that is the size of inscription. Inscription may be short, such as 1 or 2 line dedication of a temple or a statue, or it may be lengthy, such as long poems praising the achievements of the king. Now what is Prashasti? Long poems in the praise of kings are called Prashasti. These were written by the court poets. Now the second source of information is numismatic evidence, that is coins. What is numismatics? The study of coins is called as numismatics. And what are coins? Coins are pieces of metals which are used as money to buy things and other services. How do coins help historians to study history? Coins tell us and help us to know about the dates of the kingdoms and the king's special interest, the king's achievements. Children, you can see the picture of different coins. In the upper part, you can see the coins which are used in today's date. We can see the number which is written in the note and the coins. And in the down part, there are gold coins. The gold coin was issued by King Balban and it was issued in 1266 to 1287 CE. And a silver coin issued in 1327 CE, which was issued by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So by looking at the coin, we can get different informations about the king and the year in which it was issued. Now talking about the third source of information, that is archaeological evidences. that is buildings and sculptures. So what is archaeology? It is the study of the physical remains of human life in the past. We can take examples of tools, ornaments, weapons, toys, pottery, temples, palaces and mosques. Children, from these remains and buildings, we come to know about the religious practices, the political conditions, the economic conditions and the social conditions of the people living in that particular kingdom. They not only tell us about the religious practices, but also about the society, architecture and economic and the political conditions. Some of the most famous monuments we know is, for example, Red Fort in Delhi, Taj Mahal in Agra and several temples in the South India. In the given picture also you can see Jama Masjid in Delhi, City Palace of Jaipur, Agra Fort in Agra and different palaces in Hyderabad. Now coming to the fourth point, that is artistic evidence. Paintings are artistic evidence. Now what is artistic? Artistic means art or skills of making paintings. What can you know from the painting? The following information can be drawn from the paintings. First is the artistic progress of that time. Second is the record of the line of descent of kings and the nobles. Third is about the culture of the society or the people in the way of their dressing, the customs they followed, the important events and the life of a common people. Coming to the fifth topic, that is fifth source of information, literary evidence, or also known as historical writings. Historical writings are example of literary evidence. What is literary? Literary means of literature and concerned with the literature. For example, literary evidence consists of historical writings, biographies, plays, novels and epics. So students, there are two types of literary sources. First is indigenous sources, which can be called as sources created within our country. Second is foreign sources, the sources written by the foreign travelers. So let us understand the first, that is indigenous sources. During the medieval period, manuscripts in India were written on the following things. That is, first one is palm leaf or cloth, bamboo leaf, beech bark and paper. Talking about the manuscripts, manuscripts are of three types: religious literature, secular literature, traveler's account. Point to be noted is they also deal with many other subjects like philosophy, systems of science, arts and literature. Indigenous sources were composed in different Indian language and scripts, but many have got destroyed, and the reasons of the destructions of sources are rain, fungus, insect like termites. As I said that the indigenous sources are written by the people within our country. So who wrote these documents or chronicles? The answer is first is our poets, second is chroniclers. Now what is chronicles? The chronicles were the record of a rule of kings and their kingdoms. And the poets or bards and the chroniclers were appointed by the kings for this purpose. They used to record all the proceedings at the king's court and thus giving valuable information about the administration of their period. Examples of indigenous sources are Colonel Todd in his famous book Annals and Antiquities of Rajasthan in 1829 CE. Examples of biographies is Raj Tarangini, written by Kalhana, which was written in 12th century CE. It tells about the kings of Kashmir. The second example is Vikram Manka Dev Charita, written in 11th century CE. The Chalukyan writer Bilhana, he described the achievements of King Adi Rajendra Chola. Few examples of biographies. Prithviraj Raso, composed by Chand Bardai in 12th century CE. It is the account of the famous Rajput ruler Prithviraj Chauhan. Akbarnama and Ain Akbari by Abul Fazl. It was the description of Akbar's life and the administration. Tabakat-e-Nasiri, written by Minhaj-e-Siraj, describing the region of Muhammad of Ghazni to Balban. Now, talking about the foreign resources, during medieval period, Indians saw many foreigners entering our land. They came as travelers, students, and pilgrims. Example of foreign sources I can give is Al-Biruni, the Persian traveler, who came to India with Muhammad of Ghazni in the 11th century CE. He mastered Sanskrit, wrote a scientific treatise like Tehqiq-e-Hind, which means an inquiry into India. Second example of foreign sources is Ibn Battuta, who was a Morocco-born traveler from Africa. He came to India in 14th century CE. Muhammad bin Tughlaq appointed him as his Qazi, that is Chief Justice. He wrote about the region of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The next example is Marco Polo, the Italian ambassador. He was in the court of Chinese Emperor Kublai Khan. He passed through South India in 1292 CE and wrote about the social customs and culture of South India. The next example of foreign sources is Niccolo de Conti, a Venetian traveler who gave a comprehensive account of the kingdom of Vijayanagar. Abdur Razak, a Persian traveler who visited India and stayed at the court of Zamorin at Calicut. He described about the kingdoms of Vijayanagar. Sir Thomas Roy, an ambassador of British King James I, stayed at the court of Mughal Emperor Jahangir. Duarte Barbosa and Domingo Pez, this Portuguese traveler, wrote about the Vijayanagar Empire during the reign of Krishna Dev Raya. So students, here we end the lesson. Hope you understood each and every point described in all the 3 videos. Thank you so much.